Hello, good morning and welcome back. I'm Ursa and this is the final of my first AI-only World Cup. I really hope you guys have been enjoying it thus far, and if you hadn't guessed, spoilers, I'm just about to show you who the final 5 are that have made it through all the heats and semi-finals. So if you haven't watched any of the previous videos up to this one, stop right now and go back and watch the heats and semi-finals, otherwise this won't make any sense to you. But if you have been watching and you're ready for the final, I introduce to you Trajan of Rome. Now, Trajan won the first semi-final with a style that we have yet to see so far. Generally speaking, Rome has been one of the strongest competitors all the way through the semi-finals and the heats, generally speaking. They tend not to do too well at, science, I guess, but their ability to expand and their ability to muster an army and generally play a very wide game has been really impressive. So maybe it's the Baths, maybe it's the early game legions, I'm not entirely sure why, maybe it's the extra roads. You know what, I think a lot of it has to do with the roads and the fact that AI really can't move troops around very well, so the fact they've got all these roads is genuinely very helpful for them, so I'm expecting Rome to do very well this game. Secondly, we had the winner of the semi-final number 2, Korea, who, generally speaking, as you might expect from Korea, is the scientific master. All the way through the games we've seen Korea play, they seem to just accumulate science and push out high-level troops far faster than anybody else, and that gives them such an advantage. Just in the game generally, they can muster mechanized infantry when the other people are, the other AIs are trying to muster around musketmen. They can send missile cruisers against frigates. Generally speaking, they really can boost their science up to really fast levels, and actually Korea have always done that in every sort of civ game that I've played, but they really do it well, especially the 3 kingdoms. The computer really does get extra food and extra science from putting all those farms and mines down, because they really don't plan districts very well at all. The AI is really bad at that, so generally speaking, this is a well-suited civ and well-suited bonuses to the AI. I'm hoping we should see a Korea again do really well on science and maybe push out aggressively. Genghis Khan comes in at number 3 as the winner of the 3rd semi-final, and generally speaking, Genghis Khan has been impressive with their, as you might expect, aggressive nature of the game. I think the diplomatic visibility boost of combat, the extra movement for mounted units, the fact that they want to send trade routes to the enemy, generally speaking, all these things add up to very well thought out plans. Now, in the 3rd semi-final, Genghis Khan actually didn't do as well as Rome or Korea did. It was a much tighter semi-final, so I'm interested to see whether Genghis Khan can replicate the victories that they have achieved thus far. Next up, as the first wildcard that I put through from semi-final 2, I believe, it's Teddy, everybody's favourite handlebar mustache-wielding president. Generally speaking, America have done very solidly through the game so far. They seem to get cities out pretty quickly, they seem to be able to defend them with the home continent combat strength boost that they've got. Generally speaking, America are just very solid. I would be surprised if America win this. I haven't seen anything special from the AI, but I really do think they should be able to hold their own. We'll see if they do, but America, yeah, very solid. Last but not least is Poundmaker. So again, a wildcard I put through from semi-final 3. And generally speaking, the Kree and Genghis Khan of Mongolia were pretty nip and tuck throughout the whole of that semi-final. I think Poundmaker's pretty good. They could have gone through as the winners. I think it would have been only fair to put them through regardless. They've been very strong. Whether it's the fact they lean on alliances with other civs generally means that they tend not to get bullied early game. They tend to sort of have friends and go into joint wars quite well. The extended trade route capacity, again helping the AI move around the map. It's something we've seen quite a lot actually. A lot of the AIs that have done well have been AIs that give either trade route boosts or have a leaning towards sending trade routes to other civilizations. I think it's pretty much because the AI cannot use troops and they can't sort of send them around and move them around the map in any sort of logical way. So having all those trade routes down means that there's lots of roads, and generally speaking it helps the AI do what it's going to do. And lastly, we shouldn't forget everybody's smiley-faced weirdo of Civ 6, it's Alexander the Great. We're going to have him again as our spectator AI. We had him all the way through the heats. I get confused looking for anybody else that isn't Alexander. We couldn't have anyone else for the final, really. I was so disappointed with Alexander. He just had such potential with his sort of aggressive nature of how the civ is built. But no, the semi-final was awful. He pretty much did nothing, and disappointing. But anyway, same rules as last time. We're going into domination and score victory only, and this time, because it's the final, we are going to try and push it all the way to 250 turns, but we shall see how the computer handles that one. But here we go, let's jump straight in. Okay, jumping straight in, and we've got our spectator Greece AI on the bottom right of the map. Genghis Khan again on the right. They've started on the right every single time of the heat and the semi-finals, and now the final. That's got to be a good omen for Mongolia. They generally do very well there. America in the top right. Again, we tend to see America do quite well in that position. Korea top left, again already settling their second city. Look, the Poundmaker and America all settling on exactly the same turn there. Poundmaker on the far left. I'm expecting them to expand out pretty quickly, and look, you can already see their settler going out pretty fast now. And Rome, oh no, Rome, the settler seems to have glitched out a little bit. Look, you can see just sort of waiting in that mountain pass for whatever reason. Not entirely sure what they're doing there, but yeah, Rome bottom left of the screen. Rome, they're my pick for the winners actually. If they can get themselves up and going, they tend to do really, really well. Poundmaker already getting their third city down, so again, the Cree really pushing out very quickly. Korea looks like they're also pushing their third settler out. We like to see a nice strong settle with the third one. America, their settler just walking around Washington. I'm not entirely sure what they're doing there. Weird. The computer really seems to be pushing the settlers backwards and forwards. It doesn't know what it's doing. It's like it's got two commands where the computer goes, oh, we must send it like north. Oh no, change your mind, let's send it south. And they kind of keep going backwards, forwards, and nothing really happens. Mongolia putting their third city down just by the lake. I don't like to see a city being settled inland or sort of towards the edge of the map, across from that lake. It really does smudge the cities together a little bit too much. You can see Rome finally have got their settler out. Now, we have seen Rome start quite slowly before, and they tend to be able to push it back later because, again, these roads mean that they can push their cities out pretty quickly. Let's just see, are Rome going to settle on that lake tile there? Or are they going to push that settler? No, they have. Good. So you can see the road goes down between Rome and Ostia, and already their settler can sort of push out. They might put the settler back down in this sort of bottom right-hand corner, or they could push the settler north. We'll see which they do. Looks like they're going to go left for whatever reason. That's a weird choice by Rome there. Cree already getting their fourth settler out, so the Cree really accelerating through the start right now, as is Korea. They've got their fourth settler going. America focusing on building archers, which is a fairly aggressive. America really do build a lot of army early in the game. Normally we see America pretty much the first to get to swordsmen, which gives them a lot of early game strength. Mongolia's fourth city going to come down now as well. Now, looking at the centre of the map, you can see all of the civilizations are really starting to deal with the barbarians very quickly. We don't tend to see the deity AI have a problem with barbarians. It's going to be interesting to see who settles on this middle island first. If you remember, all strategies sort of from the heats and from the semi-finals going forward so far have pushed towards, if you get onto this middle island first, generally speaking, you're going to do very well. If you're part of the second wave that comes onto this middle island, then loyalty would generally mean that your cities are going to suffer. It looks like Rome, look, they've really aggressively pushed out. This could be a stroke of genius from Rome, actually. I've been berating them for really slow settling, but if that settler goes down on the middle of the map there, they've built themselves a road right to the middle of the map very early in the game. While Poundmaker puts their fourth city down, right, I mean, look, they're all bunched up on that little bit. They haven't really utilised the land. So Rome being quite expansive with their settling, which, you know, makes sense for Rome, but that could that really help them later on? Again, Mongolia also bunching their cities up. Far more interesting news though, what on earth is Alexander doing? Everybody's favourite settler AI is the one that seems to be pushing their settler right into the middle of the map. Good on you, Alexander, being the wild card that everybody needs. That's fantastic. The problem for Rome might be timing. You can see, look, they've pushed their settler right into the middle of the map, and this could be really good for them. There's going to be no one. Yeah, look at that. That is a strong settle from Rome. That's at least 4 luxuries in the middle of the map. They've got access to all kinds of strategic resources. They've now got a road that spans the entire peninsula of their island, which is going to massively help the AI going along there. But the Cree already have a 5th settler. they might find themselves losing out on loyalty. And look, rebellion in 57 turns already. They're going to have to get a governor there. They're going to have to build a monument quickly, which they should have done because it's Rome. Yeah, look, 4 loyalty already. But that's tough on Rome there. If the loyalty is already a problem for them, they've got to really make sure that as the Cree, and already the Cree and Mongolia putting their 5th cities down on the right and the left of the map respectively, Rome have got to make sure they don't lose that city. Now, another 4th settler's on its way, and this road is going to really help them going forward, but Rome have got to make sure they back up this area. If we can see an expansive Rome fortify this middle island with lots of troops, you know what, they might do well, but it's going to be loyalty. They've got to get population up here as quickly as possible. Checking in with Korea, they seem to be doing well. 4 very nicely spaced cities pushing into the middle of the map there. They've got another settler. Looks like they're going to settle the 5th city over on the top of the island, which is fair. The computer do like putting 4 cities in a sort of diamond shape up here. America very conservatively, but we've seen this before with America. They've seemed to sort of sit back and do nothing, and then right at the end of the game sort of attack with a large army, and already caravels popping up for America, so looks like Navy's going to be a strong focus for them. If we can see America take some of these central city-states, then that might help them. Left of the map, Kree have got a settler. Right of the map, Mongolia have a settler, so it's going to be interesting to see which one of them gets their 6th city down, and that's 6, both really expanding aggressively. Mongolia really do that very well, and you can see they have picked up a religion as well, and swordsmen. I think actually Mongolia, that's the first set of swordsmen that I have seen. The Kree have got swordsmen as well. Rome do not, because we would see, oh no, they've got legion. They do have legion. Okay, so, and then Korea of course have got swordsmen. Okay, so fine, so it's just America at the moment that don't, but they do have caravels. So it looks like America have gone for the top of the tech tree, whereas everybody else is focused on the bottom. I'm not saying which is better or worse, but interesting sort of divergence of tactics there. Mongolia very quickly going after Macedon, so Alexander has got to watch out. It looks like Mongolia are going to try and take them out quickly, but it's just Alexandra Truas up the top here. It's going to be the one that gets taken. Now, swordsmen, these things have a lot of strength, and it doesn't look like Alexander has got anything else than warriors at the moment, although these hippasts, I don't even know how to pronounce that, I'm not even going to bother. It looks like Mongolia, if they get a lot of this army down south, they might be able to take the city without too much complaint. So that could be a very, very important early game pickup for Mongolia here, especially as it looks like the 6th city is going to go on this river, get themselves a lot of luxuries. Poundmaker, again, very conservatively settling across here. It means they're going to keep these cities. Rome backing up their settling with a couple down here, so you can see Arpinium and Cumae have been settled. Again, the roads all forking off. So Rome, very strong. They've managed to gain themselves a lot of this middle island ground. It'll be interesting to see if they can hold on to it. So checking in on the Rome and Macedon. Sorry, massively distracted there. Rome have gone against Alexander as well. Now this is going to be really interesting. So the city's already beginning to fall, but that is a legion outside it. So if Rome play this right, they might be able to steal it right from underneath Mongolia's nose, especially because Mongolia looks like they're using their swordsmen against barbarians rather than the city. That's a really poor choice there from the AI. Ah, interesting. And Mongolia, where is that settler going? I thought you were going to take this this river up here, which would have been a really good pickup for you. Looks like Mongolia might be settling towards the middle. Oh yeah, they have picked up the city, so Mongolia do keep hold of that city. That's going to be a little bit of a kick in the teeth for Rome there. It'll be interesting to see if Rome try and go after Alexander's capital. They've got a couple of archers in the sea. It's the sort of thing the AI might do, but Mongolia have got to make sure they get that settled down ASAP, because otherwise loyalty is going to mean that they just lose that city immediately. And that's only going to go in one direction. Rome are going to pick that up if the loyalty becomes a factor there. Mongolia and Rome declaring war on the Cree. Mongolia aren't going to be very they're not going to impact in this war too much. They don't really have any sort of adjacent cities, but Rome, if they get some legions and decent troops in the Cree's direction, they might be able to do something here. Yeah, it looks like Mongolia might lose this city, which is going to be a real kick for them. 2 turns and they've lost it. The Mongolian troops are all heading down to Alexander to go and finish them off, but this is only going to go to Rome. It's going to be interesting. And also America and Korea losing or about to lose cities to loyalty. Again, it's that second settle. America and Korea far too late to the party, so by the time Rome and the Kree had already settled on this middle island, the loyalty of these cities is very much in question. Yep, this city gains independence and immediately flips to musketmen, which means musketmen are somewhere else. Yeah, Mongolia have got musketmen. So it looks like Mongolia in terms of war tech are definitely leading at the moment. And look, Korea have just lost a city over here as well. Now that's interesting. If we get enough free cities in the middle of the map in a very quick space of time, we might find the three cities actually keep their independence. You know, the loyalty between them starts to just sort of they gain like a little three-city state in the middle of the map. I've always wanted to see that, like 6, 7 3 cities all ganging up in the middle of the map and sort of being friends. Oh, that's interesting. Stockholm being taken on by the Kree, so it looks like Rome might have Stockholm as an ally. I'm generally speaking, an AI that takes these middle city-states generally does very well in the game, but it doesn't seem to be able to do naval combat very well, so it'll be interesting to see what happens here. In America, with frigates taking this 3-city down, that's going to be interesting because that's going to go to the Kree if that one sort of is allowed to time out. So if America can jump in and gain that city, then that's a nice little chunk of land for them in the middle of the map there. So the Kree have made peace with Rome, but they're still fighting Stockholm, so Stockholm is not Rome's ally. I think it might be Mongolia's ally, which is interesting. We were going to have a look at these mountains because these mountains normally give quite a lot away. You can see these 3 brilliant adjacency tiles. If what the AI puts down around these mountains generally gives us a very good indication of how the computer wants to play the game. Now Mongolia have got 2 campuses up. It's sort of giving us the hint that they're going to go for a scientific game, which is always a good start for them. Washington, again, 2 campuses and a mine. I don't understand why they put the mine down on that tile, but 2 campuses is always a strong start nonetheless. Korea can kind of do their own thing because their special sort of campuses can, well, they play by their own rules really, but they've got 1 holy site down but really haven't utilised these mountains very well, which is a little bit of a shame. You can see down here that the Pound Maker have got 2 holy sites and a campus, so again quite peaceful, but we shall see how that one goes. And then Rome, you can see we've got 1 campus but generally hasn't utilised as well, so interesting to see what happens along this line. Now Korea are the ones to take the 3-city back. That's surprising. If they can hold on to that, this will be a good foothold for them in the middle aisle. Korea generally do very well towards the later stages of the game once the tech has started to spiral out of control. It looks like here as well that Rome is going to attack the city, bring it down to 0 health, and then let Mongolia pretty much walk in. Yeah, they've done that. So Mongolia take their city back. Now that puts them on a really strong point, and Cincinnati is now lost. So if Cincinnati falls to Mongolia, and it looks like Mongolia is the one that had the army in the area, if Mongolia do this and take this city-state, then that's almost half of the middle aisle that Mongolia control. That puts them in a very strong position. Oh, this is an interesting one. America has gone after Korea. Now, I was thinking America had a lot of troops around, but what they've done, unfortunately, is it looks like they've spread their army across the coast like we do see the AI tend to do. Interestingly for them though, Korea do not have walls up around this city here, Guangzhou. Oh god, I couldn't even pronounce that. I'm very sorry. That's interesting. That could be a real oversight by Korea there. If America were to chuck caravels at the city, it would fall very quickly. But it doesn't look like they're going to do that. It looks like they're going to... Oh no! No, I say that back. Like, they are chucking caravels at the city, so you're going to need more than that. You've got at least 2 frigates that I've seen in the area. No, they're off probably attacking city-states right now. So is America's chaotic approach to this war going to hold them back, or will Korea lose a city? Interestingly, Mongolia is still going for Alexander, and they've only got a few troops down near Pella, but that's all you need. So it looks like Mongolia might be the one to take control of the second peninsula. It's going to be interesting to see if, yeah, look, Rome have got settlers, so Rome might start kicking these across the sea. Looks like Rome is also still at war with Alexander, so we'll see what happens here, but Mongolia, look, they're going to definitely take that city. This is a really interesting one here. So it looks like Korea have got frigates and are pushing back the American troops fairly ably, but this is a lot of troops from Buenos Aires. Do America have Buenos Aires as an ally? Yes, they do. So I was just thinking Buenos Aires might be chucking a load of musketmen around this area, but it looks like Korea have just built walls. They're going to just about keep control of this city. Pella has fallen to Mongolia, which is an interesting one. Looks like Mongolia are going to probably steal that barbarian settler. They've got knights in the area, which means that Mongolia will have another settler in this area. Also, I would hazard to say that Cincinnati, if it's going to fall to anyone, it's going to fall to Mongolia here, unless America jump in quickly. So Mongolia really going from strength to strength. They've got 5 cities down on their sort of peninsula. They're going to get 3 once Cincinnati has fallen on this middle bit of the land. Here we go. Is Cincinnati going to fall? Nope, just going to leave the musketmen outside it. Fine, whatever. And it also means they've got this previously controlled Alexander Peninsula. So, interesting one that. Question is, will Korea go after Buenos Aires? Buenos Aires, of course, sending loads of musketmen down to attack Korea, which means they're pretty much open. Korea moved its sort of 3... I know they've got at least 3 frigates. If they were to surround Buenos Aires, that wall would come down very quickly. Eventually, Mongolia does move its musketmen in. That's incredible. Mongolia and Rome also going to war with the Korea again, so Mongolia and Rome look like they're steadfast allies. That's scary for everybody else on this map, actually. And Mongolia losing this city again to loyalty, as well as this city. So Mongolia, they've done so well with war, but it looks like loyalty might be the death of them. Maybe a dark age is causing them issues, because if this city flips, this is going to go to Rome, and Rome, with populations of 11 in the middle of the map, they're not going to lose that to loyalty. That is definitely going to stay in Roman hands, I should say. Ooh, sneaky by the Cree there. Stockholm falls to their navy, so that's impressive. The Cree have at least a foothold in this central ocean. If Rome and the Cree do continue this war, having this extra sort of land in the middle, that's going to be interesting to see whether or not that benefits the Cree, because they should be able to kick out more boats and have more places to heal in this central island. Rome as well also looks like technologically it's fallen behind a little bit. It's a lot of catapults, which you know, other teams have bombards right now. Rome, you're not going to get very far sending crossbows and catapults against the Cree. They've got muskets and pike and shot somewhere. We're going to see the United States of Freedom in the middle of the map. This city down here is going to fall in 2 turns. Korea have lost their city, as well as Cincinnati falling as well. So Mongolia, they do have the troops in the area. Maybe this sort of, you know, the loyalty issues is going to be just a minor inconvenience for them. If they can regather their military, oh god, what am I even saying? If they can regather the military in this area and take both of these cities, Mongolia can get a foothold in the area, and yes, frigates are going to massively help. It's just whether or not America tries to steal them, or whether Korea managed to send these pike and shots and take the city back. So yeah, it does fall, and we've got 3 city-states in the middle of the map, or 3 states I should say. That's really, really interesting. I kind of expected with 3 of them in the middle of the map, they might actually be able to keep themselves loyal with their own populations, but no, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. 39 turns, so they're going to have to be taken by military force, and Mongolia are the only ones that really look like they've got the force in the area. But it'll be interesting to see if Rome do decide to stop having this war with the Cree. They might be able to take a couple of these cities. The Cree as well. If they move a couple of their troops in, this is ripe for the taking up here as well. Interesting to see how this one plays out. Korea also declaring war on the Cree. Nobody likes the Cree. Korea do have hwachas and powerful units, but with the strength of these walls, yeah, just throwing troops at them like that, Korea, you're not going to get very far. So while Mongolia have all the problems in the middle of the map, it does look like they are starting to settle on this peninsula down here. So Mongolia, even with the issues they've got, is sitting on 9 cities now, which means they are easily winning. Cincinnati looks like it's going to fall back to America, and Rome actually getting bombards next to the 3 city here, and a musketman. So Rome looks like they might start being dangerous in this area. Interesting to see who this one falls to. Rome takes Cincinnati, and also I saw somewhere, there it is, an infantry unit. So America, again in military tech, seems to be ahead of everybody else at the moment. Oh, Rome, what are you doing? Rome, the bombard hit and brought it down to red health, and then the musketmen didn't move. That just means surely Mongolia. No, Mongolia don't take it either. Oh, I love Civ 6, but my god, the AI really sometimes does make you go, what the hell is going on here? Oh, come on, Rome. No, the musketmen are just going to sit outside. Mongolia are going to run off now. Just leave the city-state. They don't want it. Mongolia don't even want to bother. They're just, Poundmaker's taking this one up north. There we go. Rome do take it, and loyalty is going to keep that. Oh my goodness, that was painful to watch.